So to start off this course, I thought it might be good just to give you a couple of insight into maybe the value of Python, why we use it, what's the value of learning that as part of your academic journey, okay? So Python is really one of the more popular programming languages that's out there, especially when you talk about data science type initiatives. It's really kind of leading the pack. So why would I want to learn this? Well, obviously, part of the curricula which we develop here at Davenport is to try to give you the tools so that when you go to actually join into the workplace in a data science type of role, that you'll have the right tools in your toolbox in order to be competitive. That's why we stress things such as Python. We also stress a lot of the cloud platforms. We also stress the R language too as well. And so by having these various technical languages in your pocket, you're able to then turn around and use that in real world situations. Now I can tell you I've used Python for quite some time. Been in the field in the data science area for an extended period of time, and I've seen it kind of evolve from having a lot more of the R statistical language to having more of the Python. So now Python is ubiquitous. Anywhere you go, you're probably going to find Python, you're probably going to find Jupyter notebooks. So it's really important for you to kind of learn this because it's quite used well out in the field. Now, again, as a high-level programming language, it's also relatively beginner-friendly. It's easy to learn for a new student, and it has a very broad range of applications out there. So you can use it to develop websites, interactive websites, as well as data analysis, as well as advanced machine learning and AI type of solutions. So when I look at this, I also have that question of should I learn R, should I learn Python, or should I learn them both? So I think of it as a complementary language to R. So R does have its strengths. R is good if you're doing statistical analysis, and specifically if I was working on like a doctoral or a specific type of research study and I wanted to crunch a lot of numbers and doing that within a statistical context, R makes a little bit more sense than Python. But if I'm talking about automation of things, if I'm talking about interactive with web, if I'm talking about being able to port something from one platform to another, that's really where Python starts to show its strength as a language. So again, it has a very broad application across a various number of types of use cases. So having this in your toolbox is a significant benefit to you. Now, it's also relatively easy to learn. So we found training students, and I found out there in industry and in my government context as well, teaching other folks and teaching new budding data scientists the language. It's a little bit easier to teach people Python than it is to teach in some of the other languages and some of the things like R. It's got a really good, as far as seamless integration, it integrates with a lot of other programming languages. And as you start looking at beyond just using it within itself, like using it within Databricks, for instance, having Python, having Jupyter notebooks, that's going to be a big benefit to you. Now it's also very scalable. So if you want to look at it from a big data efficiency process, it's able to handle very large sets of data and manipulate very large sets of data very efficiently. So I look at these are complementary relationships and how R and Python can work together. While R has more of that dominance in the statistical modeling and some of the specialized data analysis packages, again, I think that the genesis of bringing these two languages together is something that's very strong. So within the data science workflow, we talk about that quite a bit within the program. You hear that out in industry too quite a bit. Within the data science workflow, Python is really set up in order to engage and automate in those spaces. So if you're thinking about some of the libraries which we'll talk about, such as pandas and matplotlib, being able to take things from the data cleaning stage to the manipulation stage to the EDA, the exploratory data analysis stage, being able to go from stage to stage is very seamless inside of Python, mainly due to strength of some of those libraries such as Pandas and Matplotlib. So then when you start talking about the back end of this, you talk about the modeling pieces of this. Libraries such as scikit-learn, TensorFlow, we'll talk about those in the program in this course too as well. Those are recognized leaders when it comes to machine language and more advanced AI type of modeling. Those are things that are standard within a lot of those types of solutions. So if you think about this, if you're looking from the data science workflow perspective, it kind of hits on all the marks, and especially when you start talking about some of these more advanced things which are coming out right now, like the deep learning and the Keratis model, the integration with PyTorch, for example. Those are all things that are quite well used within the language. Okay, so again, kind of to summarize, it's an advantage for you to learn because the community out there, the data science community, really relies on Python, and Python really is very versatile. So it's not just a statistical language, it's not just a data science type application. Python can be used for web applications, it can be used for automation, it can be used for a lot of things. Has a very large ecosystem. It's got a lot of compatibility across different platforms, and really within the data science workflow, it's heavily integrated into it. So I would absolutely encourage anybody to learn a little bit of Python. This course is going to give you a little taste of that, and we're going to actually go through major pieces of this, and that's going to give you kind of the fundamental core, so then you can turn around and you can build on that as you continue your data science journey. So that's what we're really going to talk about here. I wanted to talk about here. I wanted to just give you a little bit of some additional insight from somebody who's been out in the field for an extensive period of time. This is definitely going to be worth your time in order to learn the language and to kind of learn some of the pieces of it. It's going to be something that's going to help enable your data science career. So again, welcome to the journey, and I look forward to our continued discussions on this.